As I thought about those 6 attributes, those 6 characteristics of a story-doing company, a company that not just tells, not just has a good history, but also that history moves them into action, I thought, if that's true of a company, how much more should the children of God also be impacted by their story that God has given them? Understanding that everything that has happened in your life is the story that God has given you. You are God's story. How much more so should we then recognize that we too have a story, that God has carried us through something, that He's keeping us in something even right now? How much more should that then be our life ambition? That we should share making lives better because what God has carried me through. I once was diagnosed with this, and now I need to find those who find themselves in a similar situation and share my story with them. I once had tough times in my marriage, but God has stood it back up on its feet again. I got to tell somebody. That should now be the ambition of who we are. Because you have a story, it should then drive you into action. What good would a story be if no one ever knows about it? What good, thank you, Brother James, for sharing your story with me this morning. What good would it be to say, I've made it 84 years and nobody knows what God has carried me through? But if you just take a moment to share, God's been good to me. Amen. You don't know how you can encourage somebody's day, even by just sharing the good things of the Lord all week long. Several of you have been called. I got 4, 5, 6 calls this week. Testimonies, email, text messages saying, God has been good. Let me tell you what has happened. I shared what God is doing in my life, and this is what happened. Someone got encouraged. Something great happened because I shared my story. And I encourage you to allow that to make the sharing of your story your life ambition. It didn't come cheaply. The scars you have, the bruises, the tough stuff of your life is God's grace. It's not your detriment. It's not your downfall. It's not a step back. It's how God has kept you. And somebody needs to hear your story today.